Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to my YouTube channel. I am your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today for you, I'm doing a mighty game review of Marauders. Now, understand that this is an early access review, and pretty much I'm going by the limited hours I had to play the game. I just really did not have a lot of time the weekend that the alpha had come up, but hopefully I'll have some time in the future because there will be a beta, which is yet to be determined, but there will be a closed beta for people that already had purchased the game. And let's just dive on into it. The developer is Small Impact Games. It is a really small independent studio. It honestly, it looks like to me that it's maybe a half dozen guys, so really small team. The publisher is Team 17, and this is a tactical shooter. It is a diesel punk setting, if you will. Well, diesel punk sci-fi setting. And generally the idea is World War II never ended. And basically production just kept chugging along. And we got to the point where we started putting ships into space. And you're playing the part of more or less a pirate or a marauder, which is what they call in this game. And no, they are not the scantily clad looking pirates, if you will. They are more like the cheeky breeky boys you see in Stalker. Now, so a lot of the guns I see are World War II based, although there is some Cold War guns, and there's definitely room for guns to be added. Graphics wise, it's not bad. The game graphics wise, I feel is pretty good. The weapon sounds for the most part I feel are pretty good. I didn't feel disappointed there in any way. And the way the weapons handle felt pretty good. All the weapons actually handled differently, and some of them kind of handled the way you expect, such as the Sten gun. The Sten gun actually had a lot of recoil to it, although it did have a very fast rate of fire, while the MP40, being an automatic with a okay-ish rate of fire, but it was much more accurate than the Sten gun. Now, they did take some liberties on certain things, such as right now you're seeing me with the M1 carbine, and for some odd reason, the M1 carbine is chambered in 32 ACP. It would have been nice to see it in 30 carbine, which is the cartridge it was chambered for. There was also some other cartridges it was chambered for, but I don't really remember. These were different cartridges that the gun was chambered for after World War II. Now, with that being said, you'd think with this being a sci-fi setting, you would have, high-speed, low-drag equipment, laser guns, different types of optics, etc., etc., and, well, you'd be wrong. With that being said, in the context of what the game is, the equipment that is currently in the game does make sense. I mean, you do have the M16 in the game, which is, looking at it, is probably the best rifle in the game. I don't really know 100% because I just didn't have enough time to really test it and fuss around with it. The Uzi is a lot of fun to play with, especially once you get the stock put on it. It does give a more Tarkov-like experience. What I mean by that is it does sort of pseudo have an advanced medical system, even though it's just generally a core hit point pool. But you can also get wounded and bleed out, so you got to make sure you keep a bandage with you. And food and water is actually what is used for healing.
Salty cum dogs. Yes. Racism.
Yeah, I've seen that. There's different types of weapons, different types of armor. You can even put attachments on the different weapons, such as the Sten gun doesn't come with a suppressor. However, you can attach a suppressor to the Sten gun. So there is even some weapon modification. Now, that being said, it's nothing crazy like Tarkov. And honestly, with all that being said,
cowboy cum.
But with all that being said, it is a more casual Tarkov experience, and I do actually really appreciate that. It's honestly quite refreshing, as some of the tactical shooters have kind of reached a point of, well, honestly, ridiculousness, especially Tarkov. There are so many different modifications, accessories, way to set your different guns up, ammunition types, etc., etc., and honestly, it's rather just a nuisance. I appreciate even though in the sense it is a more realistic shooter in the way the health pool works, the way the guns react. It's nice not having tons of accessories, and honestly, even a pistol works in this game, where you gotta get pretty lucky with a pistol in Tarkov. So yeah, that's honestly kind of nice in my opinion. It does have space combat. Space combat is nice. It is actually kind of exhilarating, kind of exciting, even if you're just watching the periscope, spotting targets for your whoever's flying the ship, whoever's the gunner, as well as the need to repair the ship. So it can get, even starship combat can get intense at times. And it's another one of those things that it makes it feel different from the way Tarkov is. There's different types of ships with different types of crew requirements, such as I believe the Capital Frigate. It needs a full 4-man crew to actually run the ship to full efficiency because of the weapon systems and everything else that the ship comes with and can be equipped with. The ships can have different types of weapons. You even get nukes. Yes, folks, you can actually get nukes in this game. Isn't that something to be said? Now, that being said, the inventory system is a grid-based system. The grid-based system is, well, I mean, it's a dated thing. I mean, this goes back to Diablo, maybe even before Diablo. It does work. That being said, it would be nice if it was actually a bit more ergonomic. Essentially, when looting in Tarkov, you can hold control and left click, and it will just move the item to the, available spot. In this game, you have to click and drag it. Now, that might be something they add later. Don't know, but it'd be nice if they do.
What the fuck?
As well as actually removing items from your inventory.
Empty.
You actually have to right click and actually tell it to remove. It'd be nice just to maybe left click and hit the delete key, and it just throws the item out of your inventory. Just one of those nice little things that, well, would just be nice. It'd be a quality of life thing. Besides of quality of life things, a search bar for the teams. Fuck's sake. I have no idea how much time I spent looking for the team I was playing with whenever we would get disconnected and whatever else, which that did happen actually fairly regularly, where we would actually have to disconnect, even restart the game because the game had glitched out. I'm not really complaining on that end. The game is alpha stage, so there's bound to be issues, but hopefully that is some of those issues they will fix in the future. I'm just mentioning them here for the review. Also, things like synthetic scrap and backpacks, particularly backpacks, stands out the most for me. I actually went a couple raids without going in with a backpack, and almost went the whole raid without even getting a backpack. So sometimes finding, and then synthetic scrap, or the duct tape, if you will, it seems to be kind of hard to come by and find in raid. Honestly, it feels like I was beating my dick against a steel pole.
There's a lever here.
This place is fucking huge.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Oh, when you go down, I don't know how you get back.
Either ways, that being said, I did actually enjoy the overall experience of Marauders. It is sort of kind of playing Tarkov in the sense that it is a looter shooter. You go into a raid, you try and get all the good stuff you can and get out. You can either get out by going back to your docking bay and using your ship to escape, which then you got to head for a warp gate, or you can use an escape pod and head for a warp gate. The shooting is clean and crisp. The graphics, like I said, they're actually rather good. I love the atmosphere to the game. The atmosphere is believable. When you're inside of a ship, you feel like you're inside of a ship. And it's nothing fancy or high tech. It kind of felt more like along the lines of I was in a submarine or a naval type ship, where the conditions are kind of cramped. Everything is steel, nothing is brightly colored, etc., etc. That being said, the game is, well, it's $27 right now if you get it on early access, because you actually get a discount for getting the game on early access. And honestly, I do actually recommend Marauders. I know it's early access, but honestly, it does show a lot of promise. I mean, I hope they do add other things, such as you know, different loot locations. Right now, or at least in the alpha, all there was the space station, and you could also raid a capital ship. It was a pirate ship out in space, which could be rather salty to get to the pirate ship. You could also raid other player ships too, which there was a bit of a trick to that, but you could also raid other player ships and actually take their ships, which was pretty cool in itself. Either ways, I highly recommend the game. It was a lot of fun. The price tag is not bad. It shows a lot of promise. So yeah. The only downfall I really see with Marauders, and this might make people skittish, is you actually have to go. So the game is being handled through Steam. You play the game through Steam. You have to redeem the game on Steam. However, to actually pay for the game, you have to go to the website, which you can easily Google, but I'll throw a link in the video description so you can check it out. You can seek additional information about the game. So that, to me, that was really the only downfall of this game. A lot of this stuff that's like, well, hopefully they do this for quality of life, you know, improvements. Hopefully they do this just to improve the overall game, make the game more playable, etc., etc. So overall, as an early access alpha stage game, it's actually rather good, and they did a great job. I'll give them credit for that. So if any of the developers watch this video, good job, guys. You did a good job. Anyway, folks, that is my review, early access review of Marauders. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for tuning in. And please like and share the video. That way I get more people seeing this. And maybe we can get more people interested in Marauders. Anyway, folks, thanks again for tuning in. And have yourself a wonderful day.